All other weekdays, Krishna has allocated to various demigods. But Ekadashi is a day which he has dedicated to his devotees, so that we can come closer to Krishna by glorifying and chanting Hare Krishna. Okay, let us begin. So far, we have completed the 7 chapters. In the 6th chapter, Krishna spoke about the process of Dhyana Yoga. He also gave the process of Ashtanga Yoga. But he recommended the one who is in Bhakti Yoga is the topmost practitioner. And where Bhakti Yoga begins, Krishna started the 7th chapter by the process of Shravanam. So by the process of Shravanam, by the process of submissive hearing, one can know Krishna in full. That was the 7th chapter, knowledge of the Absolute. And what is the purpose of knowledge of the Absolute? Is to attain the Absolute. That is the 8th chapter. Very, very important chapter for all those who want to attain the highest perfection of human form of life. Is to achieve the highest goal, which is possible in human life, is to attain the Supreme Lord. So let us begin by the prayers, by Mangalacharan invocation, so that the Supreme Lord gives us the intelligence and the understanding that we accept his recommendation and apply, and we receive the results that the Supreme Lord wants to bestow to us. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Apitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaktikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Pad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanshcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhubhayeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschat Deshitarine Sarthayam Arjunasya Kurvan Gita Vitam Dado Lokatrayukkaraya Tasmai Paramatmane Namaha. So beginning the 8th chapter, and there is a connection between the 7th chapter and the 8th chapter. What is the connection? At the end of the 7th chapter, Krishna spoke certain terms. And in the 29th verse and in the 30th verse, Krishna said that those who are trying to perfect themselves and those who are trying to go beyond the cycle of birth and death, Jara Marana Mokshaya, in the 29th verse of the 7th chapter, Krishna said that Jara Marana Mokshaya Mam Ashrita Yatanti Ye Te Brahm Tad Vidu Krishna Madhyatma Karma Chakino. And so those intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from the old age and death, Anyone aspires for old age and death? No. Everyone wants to be freed from it. But how many are attempting, or how many know the process, how to go beyond the old age and death? Bhagavad Gita gives us that process. So Krishna is speaking about these terms, that how to go beyond old age and death. Jara marana mokshaya, mam ashrita yatanti. So what are these people? Te brahma tad vidhu Krishnam. So Krishna uses the word Brahma, and then he says Adhyatma, and then he says Karma. So Arjuna, who is very attentive, Arjuna immediately picks up these terms. And then Krishna speaks about the governing principle of this entire material cosmic creation. He says, what is this? Adi Bhutam, Adi Yagyam. So where is this Adi Bhutam? Where is the Adi Deva, Adi Yagya, the governing principle of all these material manifestations? And where does the Adi Yagya reside? In the body. And at the time of death, where is the destination? What is the destination of the person who meets death? Very, very important questions. Very, very important terms for all of us. Because in our journey, all of us will have to have to face these situations. So Arjuna picks up these terms and begins to inquire on these terms. This is called Shravanam, attentive and submissive hearing. So Arjuna picks up the points and the queries to what Krishna has introduced. So I give you the overview. You can see the screen. Purushottam, you can see the screen?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. So this is a shorter chapter, only approximately 30 verses. So, but very important chapter, as I said, that because this chapter gives us the exact process and the perfection to attain the Supreme. So what one should do, what one should practice, what one should apply so that one can achieve the Supreme Lord. So Arjuna, the 8th chapter, you will always remember, the 8th chapter begins with Arjuna's 8 questions. 8th chapter, Arjuna puts forward 8 questions. And the 8th question is that how does one remember Krishna at the time of death? So first 4 verses, and in the next 2 verses, that is 3rd and 4th, Lord Krishna will answer the first 7 questions of Arjuna. But the 8th question which Arjuna inquired specifically about his Prayan Kale, at the time of death, how to remember you. Actually, this entire chapter, entire series of Bhakti Yoga is on this one point. The entire 8th chapter, 9th chapter, and even the 10th chapter on in this one very important aspect is how to remember Krishna at the time of death. And in specifically here in this chapter, Krishna gives very focused answer in this 5 verses from 5 to 9 that how one can remember Krishna at the time of death, as sure as death. Jatasi dhruvor mrityu, dhruvo janma mritasya cha. That we have seen in the 2nd chapter. So life is a preparation, is a practice to meet the final examination, which is death. So Krishna gives us the process, Krishna gives us the tools, and Krishna gives us the solution that how we can remember him, and by remembering we can achieve him or attain. And then Krishna gives yet another. You will see in Bhagavad Gita, this is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna prescribes so many processes. In fact, Krishna gives all the processes. In the 6th chapter, we saw Krishna spoke about the Ashtanga Yoga process. And now we see in this 8th chapter, Krishna will recommend the Yoga Mishra Bhakti or the Shat Chakra Yoga. But he will not recommend it. He will explain. So, Krishna explains all the paths and all the processes. But then he gives the final conclusion or the apex or the summum bonum of what one should practice. So Krishna prescribes here about the Yoga Mishra Bhakti. He describes actually, he does not prescribe here. He gives the Yoga Mishra Bhakti, which is basically the Shat Chakra Yoga from verses 10 to 13. And then in contrast, he gives the higher platform, the platform of performing pure devotional service, which is an easy process. It is not just easy, it is sure, and it will give certain results, specific result. So Krishna contrasts the Shat Chakra Yoga or the Yoga Mishra Bhakti to the pure devotional service or Bhakti Yoga. And then he compares the two worlds, the material existence, the material world, as to the spiritual world. So unless and until we know about the spiritual world, how we will have the aspiration to go there? So Krishna gives the certain glimpse of the spiritual world here in this chapter. In between, in the various chapters, Krishna is giving the hints of the spiritual world. We will see that in the 15th chapter also. Krishna will speak about the spiritual world. And finally, the last 6 verses, Krishna speaks that how to attain, what specifically we need to do to attain him when we are quitting this body. So this is the overview. And first, very interestingly, let us see the first 8 questions of Arjuna. So I have put it in a format so that you can always remember. Always remember these 8 questions. I will read the verse. All of you have Bhagavad Gita. So I will put focus on the slide. I will not put the verses here. Verses you can see from the Bhagavad Gita. I expect all of you are having Bhagavad Gita with you. Mamta, you have Bhagavad Gita with you? If you have, so please open the 8th chapter.
Yes, Prabhuji, I have seen.
Okay, very good. So, this after hearing the 7th chapter, Arjuna did not ask any question in the 7th chapter. The entire 7th chapter is spoken by Krishna. And the 8th chapter begins by Arjuna's inquiry. Arjuna asks, Kim tad Brahma, Kim Adhyatma, Kim Karma Purushottama, Adi Bhutam Chakhim Proktam, Adi Devam Kim Uchyate. So I will explain this. Arjuna inquires 5 questions. What are the 5 questions? The first question is Kim Tad Brahma. As we say Brahma, we also have much Brahma. Brahma means illusion as to what is Brahma. Brahma means the living entity also. Brahma means the Supreme Lord also. And Brahma means Lord Brahma also. So actually, which Brahma is Krishna speaking about? So Arjuna is clarifying it. Arjuna is asking, Kim Tad Brahma? What is Brahma? And then he asks the second question, Kim Adhyatma? What is the Adhyatma or the constitutional nature or the self? Who am I? What is the self? And third question, very relevant question, is Kim Karma? Karma also, we have so many misunderstandings about what is karma. Karma means so many things. Karma means fruitive activities. Karma means action which brings reactions. Karma means prescribed action. Karma can also mean fruitive action. So there are many definitions and many understandings. So to get the clarity, Arjuna is putting these questions. And then he asks, Adi Bhutam Chakim. What is Adi Bhut? It is not Adi Bhut, actually it is Adhi Bhutam. Because Adhi means to be from the position of superintendence or someone who is in the command. So Bhutam is what? This material manifestation, this material nature, or this cosmic manifestation, this universe. So is this universe on its own? Or is there any governing principle? Is it within the control of someone? Although Krishna has already clarified Where Krishna will clarify in the 9th chapter. So we are in the 8th chapter. 9th chapter again, Krishna will clarify that Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. So what is this Adi Bhut? What is this material nature? Then he asks another question, that who are the Adhidevam? That there are so many demigods. Practically we hear 330 million demigods. So who are these demigods? And who is the chief of the demigods? Adhidevam. So these 5 questions Arjuna is asking. And in the next verse, Arjuna inquires 3 more questions. What are these questions? He says, Adi yagyam katham kotre dehe asmin madhusudana prayan kale cha katham geosmi niyatatmabhi. So what are the further 3 questions? He inquires about the Adhi Yagya. Adhi, you understand now? Adhi is one who is the governing principle. So what is the governing principle of this material manifestation? Who is the governing principle of all the demigods? And who is the governing principle of all the sacrifices? Who is the chief of all the sacrifices? And then he puts another question. This is the 6th question. Very simple to remember. Brahma, Adhyatma and Karma are first 3. Adibhut, Adidev and Adi Yagya is the next 3. And what are the next 2? The last 2? Dehe Asmin. That the Adhi Yagya. Who is Adhi Yagya? Lord Vishnu. Or the Lord Vishnu, he expands as the super soul. So Dehe Asmin. Where does he reside? In this body. And most importantly, the most important question is Prayan Kale, at the time of death, how to know him or how to remember. And who can remember him? Another thing. Yeyo Asmi Niyat Atmaki. Not anyone and everyone can remember him. It is not possible. Arjuna says Niyat Atmabhi. Very important word. Niyat Atmabhi means who is self-controlled or self-governed, who is disciplined, who is regulated. So here the next 3 questions are, who is the Lord of sacrifice, Adi Yajna, and how does he live in the body of all living entities? And he also names Krishna as Madhusudana. He refers to Krishna as Madhusudana because Arjuna killed the demon called Madhu. And also Krishna kills the demons of doubts or whatever samshaya we have, whatever doubts we have, Krishna kills. And then he says, Prayana Kale. And how those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death. So I hope you have clarity on this 8 terms, on the 8 questions which Arjuna is asking in this chapter. Very important. It pertains to all of us. These 8 questions. So Prabhupada says in the purport, if you see the purport of the second verse, Prabhupada says in the 3rd paragraph, now the word Prayan Kale in this verse is very significant because whatever we do in life will be tested at the time of death. Arjuna is very anxious to know of those who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness. What should be their position at final moment? Okay. So this is Arjuna's inquisitiveness, his set of questions. So 8th chapter, Arjuna begins with 8 questions. So we have seen in the last chapter, Krishna says that 4 kind of people can approach me. What are these 4 kind of people? Artho, Jigyasu. Jigyasu means one who is inquisitive. Inquisitive means those whose intelligence is working, whose intelligence is sharp. He can question, he can inquire. Others, those who are dull, or those who are dreaming, they can never inquire. They are sleeping. So asking question is a sign of growth. Growth of what? Of sharpening of one's intelligence. This is the life lesson. And if you don't inquire, you see a child, when he's growing up, he's constantly asking so many questions to his parents. ये क्या है? ये क्या है? वो क्या है? All the time, Ramya is smiling because she is facing the brunt. The child wants to know. So similarly, our intellect must inquire on these 8 aspects of our existence. And if we don't inquire, that means what? We are stagnant. We are not advancing. We are degrading. So now we see Krishna's reply. In the 3rd verse, the Supreme Lord gives 5 answers. You see the verse? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavo Adhyatma Uchyate Bhuta Bhava Udhav Karo Visarga Karma Sangita. Actually, 3 answers Krishna gave. The first thing he says that what is Brahma? Brahma is Aksharam. Sharam means that which can be destroyed. And Aksharam means that which can never be destroyed. So we say Akshaya Titiya. Why it is Akshaya Titiya? Because any pious activity which you do, it will not be finished. It will be eternal. So the living entity, it is Aksharam. That we have understood in the 2nd chapter. Krishna has explained, Na jayate mriyate va kadachin. Ajo nityam shashvato yam purana. It is nityam and shashvatam. So the living entity is Akshara. It can never die. So what will die? Only the body will die. The life force can never die. And what is the nature of this life force? This is Brahma, which Arjuna inquires as Adhyatma. So Krishna says, Swabhavo Adhyatma Uchyate. The very nature of the living entity, the living force, which is Brahman, is spiritual. It is not material. The nature of the living entity, by its constitution, it is, by his Swarupa, is spiritual. And what is that Swarupa? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained, Jivere Swarup hoy Krishnere Nityadas. And Prabhupada speaks in the purport. He says that the constitutional position, very beautiful, very important. Please see. This is so relevant for all of us. We have a position, different from the position he takes in the material world. What is the position that we try to take in the material world? Is try to become the enjoyer, try to become the proprietor, try to become the director or dictator. But this is just opposed to the eternal position that we are. Like, what is the constitutional position of water? It is liquid. But if you take it to an artificial atmosphere, what becomes? If it is very cold, it becomes ice. And if it is very hot temperature, it becomes vapor. But it is not in its constitutional position. Similarly, the jiva, he is in this material consciousness, his nature is to try to be the lord of matter. But in spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, his position is to serve the Supreme. When the living entity is in material consciousness, he has to take the various bodies in this material world. And this change of bodies that he takes is karma. What determines the change of body? So what is the Adhyatma? Adhyatma is this constitutional position. And what is that Adhyatma? Is the Adhyatma is to serve. Serve whom? The Supreme Lord and all his creation. And the very important question is, what is karma? So we have many inhibitions to what karma is. But here Krishna is clearing up. He is giving a very precise definition of what is karma. It is so revolutionary. When I first heard it, when I came early in Krishna consciousness, almost 22, 23 years back, that the creation of future body. Creation of future body is karma. Many times people say we are very proud of our karma. Please understand, what does karma lead to? And what does it mean? By our actions, we develop our material bodies. So whatever we perform today, it will determine what form we will have tomorrow or after leaving this body. So action pertaining to development of future body is called karma. So Krishna answers these 3 important questions out of the 8 here. And then further in the 4th, he answers Arjuna's 4 more questions. He says, Adi Bhutam Sharau Bhava Purushasya Adi Devata Adi Agyo Aham Evatra Dehe Deha Vritumvara. So the next question is Adi Bhutam. Arjuna inquired in the second verse that in the first verse, Adi Bhutam Chakim Proktam. So Krishna is saying that what is Adi Bhutam? He says it is Sharo Bhava. Please understand this. For Brahma, he says, Brahma is Aksharam. The living entity is Aksharam, is indestructible, unchangeable. But Adi Bhut is this material nature, is this cosmic creation. But what is its nature? What is its Swabhava? It is constantly changing. So if we connect to Adhibhuta, which is constantly changing, so we are constantly suffering. But if we connect to Brahmabhut, which is eternally the same, which is not changing, then we can be steady. And we can be without being disturbed by the various changes which happens in this material nature. So what is this Adhibhuta? This is the material nature which is constantly changing. Now we have monsoon season. So much rains is there. There is so much of disturbance because of rains. For last 4-5 days, entirely week, we have onslaught of rains and rains. So many diseases will come. So many infections will come. People have started to become sick. Their immunity goes down. And then when this season is over, then we will have the next season. It will become the winter season. Then again, if it is extreme winter, then again we have trouble. So this manifestation, the Adhibhutam, it will keep changing. And then the next word is, what is the Adhidevam? What is the Deva? Deva means the demigods. And who is the chief of the demigods? That is the universal form of the Lord. We will read in Bhagavatam, or when we will come to the 11th chapter, we will see how Krishna, in his manifestations as the universal form, he is the governing principle of all the demigods. He exhibits and manifests all the demigods in his own body. So the universal form of the Lord is the governing principle of all the demigods. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of the sun and moon, is called the Adideva. And the next question was, who is Adhiyagya? And what he says here, Adhiyagyo aham evatra. He says, Adhiyagya means the supreme, which is accepting all the sacrifices. He is the governing principle of all the sacrifices. Yagya Purusha. He says, aham evatra. That is Krishna himself. In what form? As the super soul. Paramatma. He is situated in the heart. And where to see him? Where to see the Paramatma? Dehe Deha Britambara. He is situated in the body. Which body? The subtle body of the living entity. He is situated in the region of the heart. Paramatma is situated in the region of the heart. So let us see the purport also. If you see the purport, Prabhupada says the physical nature is constantly changing. Material bodies generally pass through 6 stages. What are the 6 stages? We have birth, then we have growth, then we have stagnation, and then we have some extension, or we say we have byproducts, like the bodies give children, and then they start to dwindle or decay or become old, and finally everyone dies. So it is called Shadvika. It is constantly changing. So this physical nature is called Adhibhuta. It is created at a certain point and it will be annihilated. We will see that in this chapter, it will come further. And to manage this Adhibhuta, there are various demigods or the administrative heads. And they are called the Adhidevatas. And the super soul, the Supreme Lord's extension as Paramatma, is called the Adhiyagya. And where he resides? He resides in the heart. So now one question is left. What is the question which is left? Who will answer? Which question is not answered? You are all hearing? Which question is left? Dineshji? Am I audible or not? You can hear me? You have to unmute.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. So which question is left? Out of it, Krishna has answered 7.
8 point जो second question में 3 questions थे प्रभु जी. So what happens at the time of death?
Yes. How to remember you at the time of death? Prayan kale api chamam. Yeyo asmi niyatatma. So this Krishna will extend this answer, as I said, specifically in the next 4 verses and generally till the 10th chapter. So see, very important words, that how to know him at the time of death. So Krishna gives the art of leaving this body. There are 2 arts. One is the art of living and the other is the art of leaving this body. So the 5th verse is very important word. He says, Antakale chamameva smarnamukva kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastra yatra samshaya. That Antakale chamameva. At the time of quitting one's body or at the time of death, what one is able to do? Smaranam. Whom one is able to smaran? Krishna. And what he will achieve? If he is able to remember Krishna at the time of quitting his body, he will achieve the same nature, bhavam. Bhavam is what? Is the same nature. And we saw bhavam. Krishna says, adhyatma. The living entity's original nature is the spiritual nature. And where is the spiritual nature coming from? The Supreme Lord Krishna. So if one is able to just see, this is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. It is so very versatile that if the end moment of your life, if we are able to remember Krishna and leave this body, we will immediately attain the nature of Krishna. We will attain the abode of Krishna. This is the art of leaving the body. It's perfection. And he says, Yati na astra samshaya, that there is no doubt about it. And whoever at the end of the life quits his body remembering me alone, attains my nature, at once attains my nature, of this there is no doubt. But how to be able to remember Krishna? This is the $1,000,000 question. One can only remember Krishna when Krishna allows us to remember. You see, throughout the 24 hours, even if we are standing in front of Krishna, are we remembering Krishna? Our mind is so fickle and it is so much into contemplation of everyone and everything other than Krishna. So how to be able to think of Krishna at the time of quitting this body? The Prabhupada gives here the solution. Prabhupada says in the purport, he says, the Supreme Lord is the purest of the pure. Therefore, anyone who is constantly Krishna conscious is also the purest of the pure. The word smaran, remembering, is important. Remembering of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. We cannot trick or cheat Krishna. No one can do that. When we will come to the 15th chapter, Krishna discloses, he says, Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam cha. From me comes remembrance and from me comes forgetfulness. I bestow knowledge. So the knowledge of Krishna's remembrance will come only by Krishna's blessings or grace. And whom will Krishna allow? For one who has practiced the process throughout his life. Therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life. If one wants to achieve success at the end of life, the process of remembering Krishna is essential. So what one has to practice? Therefore, one should constantly, incessantly chant the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The one who is constantly chanting and remembering Krishna by the process of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. For him, there is the possibility of he can remember Krishna because Krishna will give him the grace to remember him at the time of death. Please understand, devotees. On our own ability, we can never remember. We can only remember him when he gives his grace. And to whom he will give the grace? One who has dedicated his life in performing devotional service and in particular chanting. That is why we see in our movement, in ISKCON movement, the maximum focus is given on chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That out of 24 hours that we have, at least dedicate 2 hours. How much is 2 hours out of 24 hours? It is not even 10%. 10% would mean 2.4 hours. If we want 100% perfection, then at least 10% investment we have to make. This is the practice or the process which will give us the perfection. So Prabhupada says, very important purport. I will read the further thing. He says, there may be so many impediments for a person who is chanting. Where are the impediments coming? From our mind. Krishna says chant. Srila Prabhupada says chant. Our Prabhu says chant. But our mind says can't. Today we were saying Gaurangi. All were struggling. We were saying she's young. She's just approaching 4. She will accept everything else in the process. She will sing, she will dance, she will of course eat a lot of prasad, everything else. And Moha, they all like and love Krishna consciousness. But where is the test? The test comes when we are told to chant. There is the impediment. The Prabhupada is saying, he's so practical. He says there are so many impediments of a person who is chanting Hare Krishna. Nonetheless, tolerating all this impediment, one should continue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that at the end of life, one can have the full benefit of Krishna consciousness. This is an investment of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. of attracting Krishna's mercy, of reviving our eternal relationship with Krishna. And if we don't do that, then we are telling Krishna that we don't want you. Then we remain in this material existence. And then in the next verse, Krishna speaks about the art of living. This was the art of living. What is the art of living? The body is remembering Krishna. But how it is possible? What will is when we perfect the art of living. There are societies saying art of living. But what is that art? Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Yam yam vapi smaranam bhavam tajyante anta kalevaram tam tam eve ti kaunteya sada sadbhavat bhavita. The state of being one remembers when he quits his body, or son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So what we have practiced in our life, the entire life, that will determine what will be our consciousness at the time of death. And according to the consciousness that we have, we will remember Krishna or other thing. I'll tell you a true story. Many, many years back, there was one devotee who was born, a foreign-bodied devotee, who had come to Mayapur. And one day, he went to the Ganges. It was in this season, monsoon season. The monsoon season, Ganges is very, very over-flooded with water. But he wanted to swim. So he did not, hear what the other devotees were saying. The current is very heavy, don't go inside. You will be swept. But he thought that he knows swimming. Sometimes we also think that we know swimming. But when the current is fast, all of our test comes and we fail. So actually he was carried by the current. And he was almost drowning. He almost drowned. Somehow he was rescued. And he was treated. And after a few days when he became normal, so one of his friends asked him that, my dear, what was your experience? You came so near to death, you were almost drowning. So when you were drowning, did you remember Krishna? Were you able to remember Krishna? And he was ashamed. He said, I was remembering the ad which I liked the most. I was remembering that girl who was in that ad. Wherever our attention is, wherever our focus is, whatever we are attracted with, at the end of the life, that will come. I'll give you example, a practical example, which some of my devotee friends told me. Once they were going to Kurukshetra, the Jyotisar place, and in Jyotisar, they saw that some people are distributing Coca-Cola, bottles of Coca-Cola. तो इसे डर है भाई, नींबू पानी तो सुना है, छाछ भी सुना है, कोका कोला क्यों डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर? Why you are distributing Coca-Cola? So he was inquisitive. He asked, he said, why you are distributing Coca-Cola? He said, because this was the last wish of my dying father. When he died, he uttered the word Coca-Cola. He said, how? He said, we were asking him to speak Bhola. But Bapu, bolo Bhola. लेकिन मुंह से निकला, कॉन्शियसनेस से निकला कोका कोला. So we cannot cheat. What we have practiced throughout our life, naturally our consciousness will be attracted to that which we have remained attached to the entire life. That is why Bhagavatam says, most of the time, husband and wife, they will change bodies. Husband will become wife and wife will become husband. Because at the time of death, they will think about each other. So the last life, the husband will become in a female body and the wife will come in a male body. What is the proof? The proof is the story of Maharaj Bharat. Maharaj Bharat, He was such a Raj Rishi, such a great king of valor. He left his kingdom. He left his family. He left all the opulence and the royalty. And he went to the forest to meditate. And while he was meditating on the forest, he saw a deer giving birth to a new baby. And immediately one tiger came and pounced and ate the deer. And out of compassion, Maharaj Bharat, he brought that baby deer, thinking that there is no one else to give him shelter. And gradually he became so attached to the deer that day and night he was thinking of deer. And when the last moment of his life came, he remembered the deer. And in the next life, he became a deer. So what we have to do, we have to practice to put our attention on chanting and hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Today being Ekadashi, the devotees came today to the temple. Until 12 o'clock, we didn't do anything else, but we chanted. So we have to put some regulation in our life so that we can chant. And if we take prasad, enjoy prasad, then it is very difficult to chant. Then sleep will come. Immediately, the enforce of sleep will be there. So Krishna is giving this principle. A person at the end of his life quits his body thinking of Krishna, attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme God. But it is not true that a person who thinks of something else other than Krishna attains this same transcendental state. This is there in the purport. This is the point we should note very carefully. Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing. How can one die in the proper state of mind? Maharaj Bharat. Prabhupada gives the example of Bharat. The Prabhupada gives the principle. Of course, one's thought during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one thought at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. If one's present life, one lives in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. That will help one to be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna. And if one is transcendently absorbed in Krishna's service, then the next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. Therefore, Prabhupada says, this is the conclusion. Therefore, chanting the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is the best process for successful changing one's nature, state of being to end of one's life. You see, in all the purports, Prabhupada is emphasizing on this prescribed method of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Krishna gives the conclusion. In the 7th verse, he says, Tasmat, therefore, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu Mamanusmara yuddhacha Mayo arpit mano buddhir Mame vashyasi. In the form of Krishna, how to think of you at the time? We are performing so many things, and Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu Mamanusmara, but he says yuddhacha. That we are thinking of Krishna, so we will not do anything else. That Krishna does not prescribe that. For Arjuna, what he is prescribing? That you perform yudh. Why you are performing yudh? Why you are having this dharma yuddha? To satisfy me. So we have to perform all our occupational duties. And why we are performing the occupational duty? Is to please Krishna. To remember Krishna. How? Mayo arpit mano buddhi ma me vashyati asamshaya. Two things we have to align with Krishna. Two things. You see, Krishna does not want our wealth. He is not saying, give me your wealth. What is he asking? Mayo arpit. You offer me what? Mano and buddhi. Krishna is asking us to invest in him, to offer to him our mind. Make Krishna the master of our mind. Krishna is the master of our mind. His name is Rishi Kesha. He is the one who can control the mind. When we allow him to control. And he says, not only the mind, you also offer your intelligence to us. Because we have seen in the third chapter, where does the lust reside? It resides in the mind. It resides in the intelligence. If we don't give our mind and intelligence to Krishna, who will capture it? Lust. It has already captured. The Prabhupada says, this instruction to Arjuna is very important for all men engaged in material activities. Very practical. Not everyone is engaged in spiritual activity, not possible. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. One can continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. So morning and evening, we must chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And during the daytime, from 9 to 7, we can carry out our prescribed duties. But the morning time and the evening time, we must dedicate our mind and intelligence. How do we dedicate our mind? By chanting Hare Krishna. How do we offer our intelligence to Krishna? By understanding the instructions of Krishna. We will see in the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will say that whoever studies this Bhagavad Gita, he is worshipping me by his intelligence. How do we worship Krishna by our mind? By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and not allowing the mind to meditate on anything else but to hear the mantra. So this is what it is of engaging the mind and intelligence in Krishna consciousness. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's name, one will be transferred to the supreme planet Krishna Lok without a doubt. So what one has to do? One has to practice this process. How one has to practice? This is the 8th verse. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa na anyagamina paramam purusham divyam yati partha anuchintayam. So the other name of Bhakti Yoga is Abhyasa Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means one has to practice it. It is not that one, just keeps on discussing or arguing. That will not help. One has to practice the process. So what is the Abhyas? He says, Chetasa na anyagamina. One who meditates me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path. He, O Partha, is sure to reach me. And then he prescribes how one has to meditate. So these are prescribed meditation. Instead of we creating our own meditation, it will not work. But Krishna has given us the 9 ways to meditate on him. Very beautiful. This 9th verse, the 9 ways to meditate on him. Beautiful verse. Kavim Puranam Anushashitanam Anor Aniyar Aniyam Shanusmaredaya Sarvasya Dhata Ramachinta Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastha. So, what are the 9 ways in which we can always meditate on Krishna? The first quality of Krishna is that he is Kavim. Kavim means one who knows everyone and everything. As a super soul in the heart, he knows everyone and everything. So, anytime, any action we are performing, always be aware that Krishna knows. Never ever think that no one knows. This is foolish. The person who has no intelligence, he can only think in this way that no one knows. Hare Krishna already knows. So and then he is Purana. Purana means that he is not the grand old man. Purana means that he is the original person. He is the first person from whom everything else is coming. And then he is Anushashitaram. That we saw Adibhuta, Adideva, Adiyagya, everything, the governing principle is the Supreme Lord. So he is the controller, he is the master. He is the proprietor, he is the director. He is the controller of everyone and everything. Everything is within his control. Nothing is out of his control. And he is Aniyamsam. That he is the smaller than the smallest. How to conceive this, that he is smaller than the smallest? Very simple. Our soul, what is the size of the soul? It is 1 to the 10,000 part of the tip of the hair. It is so small, so infinitesimal that no microscope, no human effort can ever see him. And Krishna is so smallest of the smallest that he can enter into the heart and reside there as Paramatma. Just imagine. This is science. This is actual scientist. That which the material scientist cannot even detect. Krishna penetrates and enters that and resides there. And he is Sarvasya Dhataram. Krishna is the maintainer of everyone and everything. And he is Achintya. Very important. Krishna cannot be known by our reasoning sense. Our reasoning will fail because he is beyond the conception of our mind and intelligence. That is why Krishna is saying, you give your mind and intelligence to me. Don't try to reach me by your speculation. He is Achintya, he is inconceivable. And he has Rupam, he has multifarious forms. And he is luminous Aditya Varanam. He is luminous like the sun. When we will see his Virat Roop, the universal form, he will exhibit millions of suns, radiance, and the effulgence of millions of suns. Yesterday we were discussing. And he is Tamsa Parastat. Tamsa means the ignorance or the darkness. Parastat means one who takes us beyond. So this 9 prescribed way, Krishna is recommended that how we should think about. That is the Krishna's recommendation. But apart from that, Krishna gives the process of Yoga Mishra Bhakti here. From the 10th verse till the 13th verse, Krishna will speak about the Yoga Mishra Bhakti, which is called the Shat Chakra Yoga. Quickly, I'll go through this because I am running out of time. That one who at the time of death, Krishna gave what the prescription? That Antakale Chamameva Smarana Muktva Kaleva. This is the process of devotional practice. But there is another process of the Yoga Balena practice, of the yoga principles. What is that yoga principle? At the time of death, fixes his life hair between the eyebrows. It is called the Shat Chakra Yoga. That you uplift your eyebrows, your life hair, and bring it between the eyebrows. With an undeviating mind, engaging himself in remembering the Supreme Lord with full devotion will certainly attain me the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada says the practice of Shat Chakra Yoga involving meditation on the 6 chakras is suggested here. A pure devotee does not practice such yoga, but because he is all personality of Godhead by his grace. This is for those who are not devotees, those who are yogis. The yogis will try this. And then he says, how to do it? Yadaksharam vedavido vadanti vishanti yadvatayo vitaraga yadikchanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe. So what is the practice? Krishna gives the practice here. In the next 2 verses, he will give the practice that persons who are learned in the Vedas, they utter Omkar. The yogis are the Yoga Balena yogis, they will utter Omkar, which is impersonal. Omkar is the impersonal form. And what is the personal form of Veda Vido? Is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because Hare refers to the potency of the Srimati Radharani, and Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and Rama is the pleasure-giving potency. It is personal. And when it is impersonal, it is Omkar. And then what they do is, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. From celibacy, they go to what? They go to sannyas. They never enter into the household life. And what they do is, they are detached. You see the 12th verse? The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagement, closing all the doors of the senses. So what it means, closing all the doors of the senses? They will not see, They will not hear, they will not smell, they will not eat, they will not evacuate. Is it possible? It is not possible. And fixing the mind on the heart of the life air on top of the head, one establishes himself in yoga. And after being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. Ya prayati tajam deham sa yati paramam mamam. And what is before that? Vyaharan ma manusmaram. So after practicing this process, but still what is the most important in the practice of the process is to remember Krishna. So why should we go to practice all this process? We directly remember Krishna. So what is the direct way of remembering Krishna? The easy way. Krishna gives the easy way. Very beautiful verse. The 14th verse. Ananya cheta satatam yomam smarati nityasha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayukta sayogina tasyaham sulabha partha. Sulabha means what? It is the easy process. What is the easy process? For one who always remembers me without deviation. How is that? That every day we are chanting the 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is remembering Krishna without deviation. If you don't chant 16 rounds, then there is deviation. So he says, I am easy to obtain. Tasyaham sulabha. That means Krishna is already saying that the process which he has described before is not the easy process. It's the difficult process. Now he is recommending what is the easy process. O son of Partha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. The Prabhupada says in the purport, different processes of liberation have been described, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Hatha Yoga. The principle of this yoga system has some bhakti added, but this verse particularly mentions pure bhakti yoga, without any mixture of Jnana, Karma or Hatha, as indicated by the word Ananya Cheta. In pure bhakti yoga, the devotee desires nothing but Krishna. A pure devotee does not desire promotion to the heavenly planets, nor does he seek oneness with the Brahma Jyoti or salvation or liberation from the material world. A pure devotee does not desire anything. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the pure devotee is called Nishkam, which means he has no desires for self-interest. Perfect peace belongs to him alone, not to them who strive for personal gain. So in this way, and then in the last paragraph is saying, Bhakti Yoga is very simple and pure and easy to perform. One can begin simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The Lord is merciful to all. The Lord helps such devotees in various ways. And then in the next paragraph, Prabhupada says that the special qualification of the pure devotee is that he is always thinking of Krishna without deviation and without considering time or place. There should be no impediment. Previously, Prabhupada said that when we chant, there is impediment. When we are neophyte, when we are new, when our mind is what? When our mind is impure. But when we have practiced, then what the mind becomes? It becomes pure. So it becomes Ananya Cheta, without deviation. Then there are no impediments. He should be, what does it mean that there are no impediment? He should be able to carry out his service anywhere at any time. This is the standard of Ananya Cheta devotee, that he should be able to carry out his service anywhere at any time. There is no impediment. Okay. So this is the verse, and then Krishna gives the result of such a practitioner. He says, Mamupetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhi paramgati. Such a practitioner, what he does? He achieves me. Mamupetya. And then is napnuvanti. So achieving me, he does not have to come back. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world. And this temporary world is what Krishna is confirming. Krishna is certifying this world, the nature of this world, and the nature of material existence. What is it? It is Dukhalayam. No living entity in this world in whatever species of life he may be, or whatever post or position he may be, right from an ant even to the post of President of America. We see how miserable is the President of America now. He has made his life so more miserable, and he has made the life of so many world population also miserable. Why? Because he is thinking he is in the control. This world is a place of dukhalayam. Prabhupada explained, if you go to Pustakalaya, what you will find? Pustak. If you go to Daba, medicine store, what you will find? Medicines. And if you have come to this material world, what you will find? You will only find dukha, suffering. What is the suffering? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Is there anyone who is spared from these four situations or positions? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi? No one. So this is dukhalayam. This is a place of suffering. For whom it is suffering? It is the suffering for the soul. Why? Because the soul is in an incompatible situation. What is the incompatible situation? We discussed, it takes an artificial position in this world. What is the artificial position? It tries to become the Lord and Master. So he suffers. And this place is also ashashvatam. Ashashvatam means it is constantly changing. We see the person who is the richest person in the world today, after a few years, no one will know him or remember him. Who was the richest person 50 years before? Anyone knows? क्यों भाई बिजनेसमैन वीरेंद्र जी, आज से 50 साल पूर्व विश्व का सबसे धनी व्यक्ति कौन था? क्या पता कौन था? 40 साल पहले कौन था? नहीं पता. 30 साल पहले कौन पूछता है?
जी,
तो आज है
नहीं याद.
नहीं याद. कोई रेलेवेंस ही नहीं है. कोई मतलब है हमारे जीवन में? कोई मतलब है? कोई मतलब नहीं. आज जो है वो कल नहीं रहेगा. He will lose it. So this is knowledge that this place is a place of miseries. If somebody goes to jail and he thinks this is a palace, I can enjoy here. So what we will say? This person is pagla. He is insane. He has no understanding. So this place is a place of suffering. And for whom? He says in the next verse, Krishna says, A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna Mamupetya Tu Kaunteya Punarjanma Na Vidyate. From the lowest planet till the highest planet, Brahma Loka, A Brahma Bhuvana Loka, to the highest planet of Lord Brahma. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest planet are all places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So that means no more miseries. So what is the beginning of the misery? Is to take birth. And after taking birth, what we are performing? We are performing karma. And I have explained, Krishna has explained, what does karma mean? Creation of future body. So what is the result and reward of performing action? That we will attain another body so as to have the miserable position of birth, death, old age and disease. This is the reward. But still we are so foolish that we are saying we are very passionate about performing our karma. And then he contrasts the material world with the spiritual world. I'll have to go fast now. So in the next few verses, he says that by human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day. And also he says the duration of his night. So you want to know the clock or watch of Brahma? We have our own clock and watch. We have 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. But Brahmaji's duration of day is not 12 hours. It is 14 hours. Very interesting. Like in every hour, what we have 60 minutes. Brahmaji does not have 60 minutes. How many minutes he has, Purushottam?
100.
No, 71. 71. 100 is the years of his life. We are discussing the one day of Brahma. What is this 71? Because 14 hours, I said, 14 hours means 14 manus in one day of Brahma. And the duration of each manu is 71 yuga cycle. Will come to 996. Multiply quickly. See what is the result? Something like 990 plus. So Krishna is taking it Sahas Yuga Paryanta. And in 1 hour, we have 60 minutes. And in 60 minutes, we have what? In each minute, we have 60 seconds. So there are 14 hours. That means there are 14 manus. And each manu has 71 yuga cycles. 71 yuga cycles of what? Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali Yuga, which comes to 43,28,000 years into 71 into 14. So that is the calculation of so many years of one day of Brahma. Just imagine what is the lifespan. And Brahma lives for 100 such years. I mean, unimaginable lifespan. But it will come to an end. It will come to an end. At the beginning of Brahma days, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state. And thereafter, when the night falls, they are again merged into unmanifest. So when Brahma day comes, like we see during the day, when the day comes, we all wake up and we start our actions. And when the night comes, we go back to sleep. So same living entities, they come into manifestation in the Brahma's day. And when Brahma's night comes, they all go back. And where they stay in Lord Mahavishnu. And then again, when Brahma days arrive, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. This is called pralaya or devastation. Brahma's day is the beginning, and Brahma's night is the devastation. So this is in the material nature. It keeps repeating this every day of Brahma. But beyond this cyclical devastation and creation is the spiritual abode, which has no influence of this annihilation and creation. Krishna says, yet there is another unmanifest nature, 20th verse, see quickly, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and it is never annihilated when all this world is annihilated. That which the Vedantis describe as unmanifest, infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which having attained one never return, that is my supreme abode. So very clearly Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita here that there is this spiritual abode. One may have never gone to Antarctica, but that does not mean that Antarctica does not exist. It exists. The spiritual world is there. Krishna is very emphatically explaining here in this section of Bhagavad Gita in the 8th chapter that the spiritual world is beyond the material world. And it is not like the material, this nature is completely different. And what is there in the spiritual world? It says 22nd verse, who can achieve that spiritual world? Only those who are performing bhakti. Purushasa parapartha bhaktya labhyastu ananyaya yashyanta sthani bhutani yena sarvam idam tatam. The supreme person of devotion. We can only achieve the spiritual world by unalloyed devotion. So he is present in his abode. He is all pervading and everything is situated within ports. And he says that, O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which passing away from the world, the yogi does not or come back. So those who are in this material world, those who do not attain to the spiritual world, these yogis who are practicing this Shat Yoga, Shat Chakra Yoga, or the Yoga Mishra Bhakti. They have two paths. What is the path? One is the path if they take, they don't have to return. And if they take to the another path, they have to return back. What is that path? Krishna explains in the 24th verse. By passing away from the world, the Uttarayana. I see all of your panels frozen. सुनाई दे रहा है या नहीं? Bolo, are you able to hear me or not, my dear? Vrinder ji, you are able to hear me? Okay. So there are two paths of the waning and the waxing moon, the light path and the dark path. So those who pass at the time of light, which is called the Uttarayana, when the sun is going towards the north. Okay. Hare Krishna. Sorry, the internet was closed. So our time is also getting over. So Krishna is saying that these two paths are there for these yogis, those who are Shat Chakra yogi. But for the devotees, there is no such need. In the 27th verse, very quickly see the 27th verse. He says that although the devotee knows these two paths of Arjuna, they are never before learned. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. Krishna is here advising Arjuna that he should not be disturbed by the different paths the soul can take when leaving the material world. A devotee of the Supreme Lord should not worry whether he will depart by arrangement or by accident. Even if we depart in an accident, and even if we don't remember Krishna, there is no harm. Just see here. The devotee should be firmly established in Krishna consciousness and chant Hare Krishna. He should know that concern over either of these two paths is troublesome. The best way is to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness is to be always dovetailed in his service. And this will make one's path to the spiritual kingdom safe, certain, and direct. Therefore, the devotee is not disturbed by these descriptions because he knows that his passage to the supreme abode is guaranteed by devotional service. And the person who accepts the path of devotional service, the final verse, is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas. That is already there. Performing sacrifice. Vedeshu yagyeshu tapashu cheva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atteti tattvam sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam upeti chate. So all these processes of study of Vedas, the performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or any other activity. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this, and in the end, he reaches the supreme eternal level. So we see the conclusion in this chapter. Prabhupada says, the beauty of Krishna consciousness is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of different orders of life. And one can reach the supreme abode. Why? Because Krishna himself takes the practitioner back to his abode. One who is performing devotional service. And that is very beautiful conclusion of this. Prabhupada says, you see the final chapter, final verse of this chapter, the final purport is, one who has little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee. Because in the beginning of the 4th chapter, it is stated clearly that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by a devotee. No one else can perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee of Krishna, not from mental speculators. This is the sign of faith. What it means to be in faith is when he is under the shelter of a devotee. Not independent. When one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets a devotee association, one actually begins to study and understand Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, there will not be any understanding. Most of the people, they don't get any understanding because they don't apply this process. By advancement in the association of the devotee, one is placed in devotional service. And this service dispels all one's misgiving about Krishna and Krishna's activities, form, pastimes, name, and other features. After these misgivings have been perfectly cleared away, one becomes fixed in one study, and then one relishes the study of Bhagavad Gita. What I was saying yesterday, that Bhagavad Gita is only relishment. What is the relishment? Of the loving exchange between Krishna and Arjuna. But when one can understand this, when one applies this principle and attains to the state of feeling always Krishna conscious, in the advanced stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. This highest perfection stage of life enables the devotee to be transferred to Krishna's abode in the spiritual sky, Golok Vrindavan, where a devotee becomes eternally happy. So how this process becomes is by dedicating one's mind and intelligence in chanting Hare Krishna. Two things we have to do. We have to daily chant and we have to daily study Bhagavad Gita. If we do these two things, then for sure what is guaranteed is the spiritual abode. One will begin to love Krishna and one will attain Krishna. This is Krishna's guarantee. This Krishna is guaranteeing in the Bhagavad Gita. And very beautifully, Srila Prabhupada has taken this principle out from Bhagavad Gita and spread in the entire world. So every day, please chant with conviction, chant with faith, and every day read Bhagavad Gita. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Gaur, Hare Krishna. Only few are left. Some left because of the internet disruption. Okay, if you have any question, please ask. From Mamta Bisht. Why neophytes should do their devotional service, or you can speak, Mamta. Everyone will hear. Why
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Prabhuji, I have two questions. My first question is that why neophyte people, especially that those are means especially neophytes of people, should his devotional service on means universal form of Lord rather than personal form of God. Prabhuji.
Okay, good question. Very good question. The question is to be little, corrected. It is not devotional service on meditating on the universal form of the Lord. Those who do not have faith in the personal form, those who do not have relationship, those who are not in the parampara system. So they only see what? They will only bow down to that person who can exhibit his greatness.
Prabhuji, your
Chamatkar ko
voice.
namaskar.
Prabhuji, your voice was
So the
breaking.
Virat Rupa is extraordinary. Okay, I will repeat. Okay, never mind. Can you others can hear me? Ramya, you are able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, but little bit disturb is there.
रम्या सुनाई दे रहा है?
प्रभुजी अभी सुनाई दिया, पहले थोड़ा डिस्टर्बेंस
नहीं सुनाई दे रहा क्या? बोलो तो सही, हाँ ना?
अभी
Okay.
अभी ठीक है प्रभु।
अच्छा, तो देखो जो मेडिटेशन के लिए बताया है वो किसके लिए बताया है? वो लिए बताया है जो भक्त नहीं है, जिनकी भगवान में श्रद्धा नहीं है, दो whose faith is fragile and they are not in relationship with Krishna. So how can they worship the personal form? So they worship the universal form, because the universal form is the extraordinary form. So there they see the extraordinary. No one can be compared to him. So they bow down to him, whose faith is fragile. Audio is not working. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Can you hear now?
जी प्रभु।
Yes, Prabhuji.
One
One more.
I have joined.
I have mobile.
Okay.
Okay. Mamta, can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Okay. So the question has to be little corrected. Krishna is not saying that one who is performing devotional service should meditate on me in the universal form. No. This universal form is for those who are not taking to the process of devotional service. Here, what was the process given? The process was given was Yoga Balen, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, or the Shat Chakra Yoga. To those who are not in the devotional process, for them it is recommended. Because why? Because they're not coming in any reciprocal succession, or they don't have relationship with Krishna. To those who do not have any relationship with Krishna, how can they meditate on his personal form? You were able to hear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, because I told you, in this also Krishna is recommending that even those who are taking to this process, they have to ultimately think of Krishna. So how they will think of Krishna? They will think of Krishna in the universal form. I'll show you the verse. The 13th verse. He says, Om iti ek aksharam brahma vyaharan ma manusmaran. So how they are thinking? Who thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his universal form. Who are these people? These are the Shat Chakra yogis. Prabhupada has already said in the first verse, the 10th verse itself, Prabhupada says that the practice of Shat Chakra Yoga involving meditation on the 6 chakras is suggested here. A pure devotee does not practice that yoga, but because he is always engaged in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada says this is explained in the verse 14, which is the easy process. Okay, what is the next question?
Prabhuji, my next question is my next question is that by Virat form, it means Virat form, it's a kind of indirect form of that approaching the Supreme Lord of Personal. Means it is already you have already given the answers, but I am just asking that it's a indirect form.
No, it is not indirect. It is not indirect. It is not a eternal form. It is a temporary manifestation.
Okay.
Yeah, it is temporary. Why? Because it is manifested only in the material universe. It is not there in the spiritual abode.
Okay, Prabhuji. Clear, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You are coming for the yatra, Mamta? I heard.
Yes, Prabhuji. I am coming, Prabhuji.
Okay, very good. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you all. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Nitai Gaur Prema.